Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nation. Today, I am joined by another interviewee named Justice, or other names they have on their film fiction.
Just Justice usually works, followed by numbers. I think most people know who you're talking about with just Justice.
Okay. Tell me about yourself.
Well, as you could hear, I am a dude. For those not in the know, I've been writing fan fiction almost exclusively, My Little Pony fan fiction for the last 5 or more years. Uh, Other than that, just kind of hang out in Portland, Oregon. I'm a business intelligence analyst as far as my career goes, which is a fancy word for software engineer who works with databases and does reporting and stuff. And I also have a 6-year-old daughter, so that is the very abridged version of what's going on with me.
Okay. Let's see. Are you what stories do you write? Are you a mix between adult stories, teen, child? What type?
Most of my stuff hits in the teen category. With every once in a while, I manage to get something innocent enough that I get to do it as for everyone. And occasionally, the teen setting gets too light for whatever I'm writing, and I end up writing mature. In fact, I just probably in the next maybe as early as today or in the next few days, I plan to get out something that is a first for me. That is going to be a teen version, and then a few days later, a mature version of the same story. So that'll be fun.
Okay. So, what stories have you written that are adult?
The adult ones are probably the most popular of the adult ones I've done is the beard with a jerk ass hanging off of it, dealing with kind of an alternative telling of Star Swirl the Bearded showing up and irritating everyone. There's an older one that I did a while ago called I believe it's Sassy Coco and Equestria's Worst Boss. And I also have two contributions to the Venus madness that is going on film fiction, and both of those are mature.
What's the Venus Madness?
Those familiar with it might know that Majin Sheikhol, if I'm saying his name correctly. Actually, I should just go to one of my fics and look it up. But he started this kind of silly setting that they just kind of a lot of other joiners, a lot of other writers have joined with him about bean-based marital aids that somehow he's gotten a lot of authors, including other authors such as myself that are within the top 100 list, or very kind of accomplished authors on film fiction who have contributed to this sort of ongoing madness of Sunset Shimmer being forced to help run this company about bean-based marital aids, as mentioned, and apparently loathing every moment of it. And he's got quite a few fics there. So I've just did a few kind of side stories. I'm afraid I'm not part of the kids contributing to the main story, but I do like to do my personal take every now and again, as much as my editors are kind of perhaps off-put by the insanity and the weird whackness of those stories in particular.
Now, that's interesting because that's not even the biggest thing on film fiction right now. And I've seen a lot of stories, every
Well, that's
author I've seen is tackling the whole that the apology and whatever from that Tumblr post.
I'm not entirely certain what you're talking about actually.
Let me find it.
Okay then.
Because Klopp fits
I
in the
know everyone
comics.
is. I know everyone is. Oh, Cop Flick in the comic. I'm aware of his work.
He's
So,
done several takes on this Tumblr post, and a lot of different authors have as well.
oh, okay. I
Uh,
mean, as far as I could see, the feature board is all Father's Day, mature Father's Day stuff. Well, two Trixie stories with her father. Lucky them, I suppose.
there's uh, the first one I saw Klopp do what he told the story um um he told the story he said it was, let me find it.
Okay. I'm sure his Klopfic in the comments has easily offended many a person on Tumblr with his very existence and his the subject matter of his stuff.
Like
But that's a very low bar, I'm afraid.
yeah, this is the most recent one he's done is Jet Gets Dizzy.
Yes, I saw that one on the feature. I haven't been following. I haven't been reading along, but I did see that one. Most of his stuff hits the feature box. I'm actually quite impressed with his ability to write and get some stuff out, and clearly he's got quite a fan following because he's I think he's about to hit the 1,000 followers mark, and he's only been writing since last year, it looks like. So go him.
He is not the only author that is taking from that Tumblr post.
Like I said, I haven't seen this particular post. Again, I'm someone being offended on a Tumblr has would not be shocking to me in the least bit.
Okay, well I'll send you the post.
Absolutely.
The person who did the post wanted. He said that, hey, I got a free character here. Anybody who's willing, flesh out this character or something in any way you want.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, that generally doesn't go well. Perhaps better on Tumblr than 4chan, but still, it's like, that sounds like a recipe for disaster.
What you said just reminded me of that because I haven't seen anything about your Sunset Shimmer thing, but I've seen that. I've seen the Tumblr post and those stories everywhere on Film Fiction.
Oh yes, the Sunset ones. Yeah, those are pretty. That's probably where a great deal of my energy has gone as of late. But I kind of try to spread it around since I got a lot of stories that have been going for a long time that I keep on trying to get to and try to eventually finish one here or there before I move on to the next thing or add it to the pile like I'm apparently going to do today or in a few days here.
And what is one of your most popular stories?
Yeah, Sunset. I'm assuming you mean Sunset Shimmer is mad at everything.
Is that one of your most popular?
That's the highest rated Sunset story I have. I mean, as far as I have two stories that have over 2,000 upvotes. One of them is the Sweetie Mash Chronicles, which I wrote some and finished some time ago, and the other one is the Wheel and the Butterfly Saga, which is my Dan. If people remember Danverse back when the hub was, still the hub, and Pinkie Pie, that was this kind of the story that kicked off me getting into fan fiction in general, and that's been I started that way back in 2013, and it's still working on it. It's longer than War and Peace at this point, so eventually Give me a few more chapters, and it'll be longer than the Bible, at least the Protestant one. Maybe not the Catholic one. They've got a few more books that are canon.
Okay. And I don't know if this was you or another author that wrote this, but it was the the story was called like Rum, and it was something about what?
Yeah, that wasn't me. I think as much as I'd probably like to take credit for the idea, something I can't even remember what the acronym stands for, like something unicorn something, but about how all of the unicorns were. I got a search engine. Reformed Unicorn Meeting, I believe it was. It was based off a piece of art.
Yeah, and I got close to finishing the chapter, or like the finished chapter. I didn't finish it because it was like, it wasn't worth my time. But
I haven't read it, so I can't comment, unfortunately.
It was really funny.
I do like I like the piece of art it's from, definitely, because it originally was the art, and then I think it looks like someone made a story based off of it.
And what is your least favorite story
that I've written?
Yeah.
I mean, yes. I don't think I'd pick. I was like, I'm not going to start picking on authors here. I don't really. I mean, I like to think that I put a fair amount of work into all of my stuff, so I don't really have a story I really dislike that's mine. I mean, geesh, I could throw it open and see if I have to look at my 90 89 stories here and see if there's any of them I dislike. I certainly don't recall regretting writing any of them. And wow, I'm not doing good hitting the button I want to. There we go. I mean, I don't know if dislike. I just one bite of cake was a lot of fun, but definitely I was in a weird headspace because I wrote like a 200-word run-on sentence, I think, in the FemFiction Discord chat. And I was just like, hey, can I keep this going to get a fanfic out of it? And I did. So I'm actually kind of proud of that one. As strange as it is. So yeah, I don't know if I'm not going to have a good solid one that, no, I hate this piece that I did, because all my fanfics are my children. I mean, I don't love all of my children equally, but I don't know if I hate any of them. Not from a writing standpoint. I can tell you the one that caused the most drama for me personally was is it just it is just is the one where I'm not sure if you're a Rick and Morty fan, but Starlight changes the sun so it screams.
I've read this story, actually.
All right. I broke the formatting on the site a few times and ticked some people off, and also the story got it got unapproved or disapproved or something. It got taken off the site twice, and I had to do 2 rounds of fixes. But as a result, it was also featured 3 times. So that was a fun little experiment that I didn't intend to irritate so many people, but I did think it was funny that I somehow the Nighty, I believe himself or someone, had to update some of the CSS code so people couldn't just spam a giant word long enough that it started breaking formatting on the site. So
that's funny, because there's this one site I know that has RSS formatting or whatever, but there's a rule. They won't allow you to do like the that, like the you know the how you make your words like
The Zalgo stuff, I'm
no
guessing.
more black.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, bold.
No, not bold.
I,
Italics.
italics, really?
Yeah, they would not let you use italics because there was a rule, but they never explained why they wouldn't allow you to do that. It just broke the
Huh.
rules.
Weird. That is strange. And I'm sure that would disturb many a writer here on the site. I know I would be somewhat lost without bold and italics to be a little more whimsical with my sentences.
Okay, okay. Um, and what's funny is you don't recognize me, do you?
As a your voice or some such.
We
I mean,
actually we actually typed to each other once for a short period because I was talking about your story.
oh, gotcha.
I forgot what I said, but it was funny, and then you said something smart ass.
That probably sounds like me. Well, thank you for commenting on it.
Oh no, I didn't comment. I sent you a message.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
Um oh what else to say? Um would you change anything about your outlet on fanfiction?
What do you mean? What as far as changing? What,
Would you change your story outlet?
like, would I go back and change anything that I've done,
If you were
or?
starting over again from scratch, would you
Ugh.
take a different pathway?
No. Well, I mean that's kind of a tough hypothetical, just because, like if I was just starting from scratch, or I guess if I had I guess if I was like, if you sent me back in time to 2013 where none of my stories were written, I would be very cross and probably just start rewriting most of everything that I had already rewritten. So I guess the answer would be no. I'm quite happy with the stuff that I've produced. I'm happy with the attention it gets. I'm glad that people seem to be connecting with the stories, and maybe even I do seem to get a fair amount of viewers even on stories that are quite outside my normal. So I'm thankful for that. So I don't think I'm kind of down with being the one of fanfiction's darling random comedy people, but I'm also quite happy to touch people's feelings with or without their consent when they read my stuff. And no, I don't think so. I've kind of got where I am by writing what I'm good at, and just used it as a platform to get better at other things. So my story collection is certainly not something that I look at and wished I had done anything differently.
Now, since you were older, or per se, uh,
Older is accurate.
uh,
By most brony standards, I am perhaps not ancient, but certainly I've done a fair amount more adulting than most. Go on.
um, per se, looking upon the future, once you become more up there in years, and you outlook on your life, would there be anything you would regret at all?
I like from film fiction. I mean, probably not. I'm going down a path like if or or just in general.
In general.
um. Eh. I mean, I certainly know more about relationships with people and stuff. Probably would spend less time arguing with people online. It's not something I indulge in very much, or at least I'm a lot better about it. I don't want to get too personal. Obviously, like I said, I have a daughter, but I am not married. It is what it is, and yeah, not not something I tend to dwell too much about as far as what I could have done better or anything. So I just kind of think everyone sort of just needs to not really reflect too much on the kind of the bad things as long as they could keep their life together. So no, not really any regrets there. And as far as the horse words are concerned, if I was going to have regrets, I mean, I already wrote Princess Changeling. No, I'm going to say it wrong if I don't look it up. That's going to be embarrassing. Not as embarrassing probably as the name itself, but Princess Changeling Rainbow Magic Pants. No, I remembered. So, I wrote that, and I don't know if if I were to regret anything, I could write anything I'd regret more than that. So, not really.
Is there any story that you have written that you could have wished would have been viewed upon more than what you
Of
think?
course. I think everyone. I think all authors on this site go through that, and especially something that's difficult in the site is even when you've cultivated a following, is not everyone in your following list is going to be into everything you've put out. Some of my more serious, usually it's my more serious stuff that people, they don't get a lot of downvotes. They just don't get a lot of attention in general. Like, all things being equal, was a very fun one to write for me. And there's some other things. For a longest time, I lamented that Bravest Alicorn was pretty underrated. Actually, it still kind of is. I mean, it's a bit earlier in my work, but I don't think anyone else has really tried to cross over Bravest Warriors and My Little Pony. And it actually, funny, won the sort of now, as far as I know, defunct best or better or good crossover list competition, but didn't work as well when it was sort of published to the main to everyone else just through standard publishing. And there's been some recent ones. I know it wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea. There's a Star Wars crossover that I've started that think other people are kind of realize, like, I don't know nearly as much about Star Wars as this person. So, but it is what it is. And especially with some of these things, the nice thing about the ongoing ones is you just kind of keep on publishing more. And the Wheel and the Butterfly didn't have a lot of viewers at first, and now it's got over 2,000 upvotes, and it's just kind of a matter of keep on publishing, keep on getting stuff, and usually, you will get the attention you want from those stories. One-shots, unfortunately, that's, you kind of, as they're called, you have one shot, and if it doesn't resonate with the audience, that's unfortunate, but it happens, so, but yeah. So, yes, I've got a handful of stories that I wish I'd performed a little better, or wish I'd connected a bit more with my readers than they connected with me, but happens.
I got 3 questions now that I'm reminded. Would you ever make a spin-off to the story from the ending where just Sunset, ugh.
Sorry, you cut out there. What was that?
I said, would you ever make a
spin-off?
A spin-off of the story from Sunset's point of view?
I don't think I had her in that story to get quite enough material. Maybe yeah, I don't know if I would do more of that concept. I mean, it's tempting to do. I do like Rick and Morty, and I did like the thing, kind of that big setup that was. I basically spent an entire setup as just one reference to this other show, but Sunset wasn't in that one for very long. And plus, Plus, I think there's been quite a few Sunset gets called over because Starlight Glimmer is going to destroy all of Equestria. Because as she does, because she can't fly kites, or um, who knows? I mean, my latest one that I've already partially written. The next one is it's just Trixie and Starlight going crazy over a grocery store because they can't identify one item. That's been a lot of fun. But yeah, I wouldn't go with Sunset on that one.
Okay. My two other questions
Yes.
are this. How do you feel about many of the mini fandoms that have been made in the Brony fandoms from stories and other things that are story related?
Oh, I think that's great. I know that some people. I have not personally created any groups for myself. And I know that I have a bunch of following for sort of my Dazzling stuff in particular, and my Sunset Shimmer stuff. Obviously, the Dan and Pinky stuff has just been going on for so long that there's a lot of people invested in that. I've had like Mithril Moth as even he's done a fan chapter or two, as well as Tats Zero, if I'm saying his name right. Let me look that up and try again in case I totally bombed it. Wow, don't I have I must have it on blog post, but like Tats Zero has crossover writer extraordinaire. Oh, he's on the. Of course yeah, I'm saying his name right. Of course, he's currently featured right now with the Rock in the Gulch. They've done stuff, so it's sort of it's funny because you and occasionally you get hilarious stuff like the Venus thing.
Wait, the Rock in the Gulch. So you are a fan follower of that Red versus Blue and Mod Pie crossover.
I have not read that one of Tats's yet. I have read. I'm unfortunately notoriously bad when it comes to writing other people's stuff. I usually am face down writing, but I've really enjoyed the one of his that I've been following that I think he's already actually done, but I still need to get through that I've enjoyed is his crossover with it's My Little Scratch. It's the one with a Willie and Vinyl, or Vinyl Scratch, which name totally escapes me. But, I was reading that the other day.
That's interesting. That's quite funny. I didn't know that you were a reader of this guy. I was actually planning on trying to interview him, and I was getting to it, but then he's he didn't have a mic, and and that got me so. And I didn't show it to him, but that got me salty. In my words of saying, basically in my words of saying fuck you or fuck off, go away, is oh, have a nice day. I have other people anyway that I'm interviewing. So, wow. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as these things kind of take some setup and stuff. This is actually my second interview that I've done. So, it's just kind of a matter of making sure well ahead of time that interviewer, whoever you're interviewing also has the proper equipment.
Yes, that's accurate. Follow up to the question that I did ask. How do you feel about the Fallout Equestria based stories?
I haven't really gotten into those so much. I'm glad, it's cool. It's cool that other people enjoy them. I have not been a big follower of the Fallout Equestria, either the fic that kicked it off or everyone else's. So I do love Fallout, the setting, and obviously I don't have any problem with combining ponies with kind of different crossover settings, but that is one I just haven't got into. So unfortunately, I just don't have a huge opinion on that one.
Okay. My next question is um uh diving away from the stories. How do you feel about the other aspects of like the Brony fandom, like the animators, the voice actors, seniors, artists, uh, um, analyzers, and the narrators of like stories?
I mean, I think everyone kind of contributing to the fandom. It's great that we have such a diverse and active group, even still producing, all kinds of movies, arts, everything. Um, and there's even a couple of the episode analyzers that I'm not in that space very often, but there are a couple that amuse me quite a bit when I watch their stuff. So they're pretty fun. So it's just kind of great that everyone's just sort of keeping this the friendship train rolling at the speed that it is, because we still have some very devoted, longtime members in this fandom, and it's still pretty healthy, all things considering, as far as fandoms go.
Okay. More questions coming up. How do you feel about like the places the bronies have made? Like, have you heard of the Rift Cafe?
I have not. Oh, so you mean like actual locations that bronies have opened up that are pony themed?
Well, like it's on the internet, but I'm
Ah,
sure at cons there's like kind of small places
yeah,
like that.
yeah. No, I haven't. The only places that I'm active in are, of course, Film Fiction, of course, and Derpy Brew are the two places that I tend to be somewhat active. I follow some people on DeviantArt, and unfortunately, that's about it as far as. And then there's some Discord channels that I'm part of that are pony related.
Now, in the current rise of the fandom, or well, downfall, since you know, who's your one of your favorite famous bronies?
I am not super great at tracking horse famous people, so I mean, I'm kind of, I suppose, chipping away on my own horse fame as much as anyone can accomplish in the world of writing. Obviously, I'm kind of there's quite a few writers like that I've met personally. Uh, Albino Corn. I met up with some people at the Everfree Northwest, and it was fun hanging out with them. Albino Corn, uh, Novel Idea, and kind of some others. I don't know if there's anyone that stands out a bit. I mean, I follow various artists, of course, and I enjoy their work, but yeah, it's more kind of I enjoy what people produce. Don't know if any of them, and it's cool when I get to hang out with these people when I find the opportunity. But I just kind of hope everyone keeps on doing what they're good at.
Um, that's interesting. I was gonna say something because there is a famous brony or Paige's sister that is a fan fiction writer that I have found out by the way, but I forgot her name. She like her palette of her OC is like black and has like a pink or like a cyan type mane, and
Hmm.
she's British.
What color is her? Yeah, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head.
She's like it's a cyan. She has a cyan part of a mane, and then pink or something, and then I believe green, something like that.
And she's a writer.
She's
Does
a
it?
very famous writer, one of the
Okay.
best.
Doesn't ring a bell, but I'm kind of notoriously bad about reading fics. I have like a backlog of over like 600 chapters I need to get to at this point.
Okay,
So
okay. Um, Now you've gone to cons. That was one of the questions I was going to ask, but you beat me
Yeah.
to it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to ask this instead. Has anybody ever invited you to host a panel?
No. I've actually discussed that. That I don't think that's of anyone's part of the issue, as I have not been very vocal about when or which cons I'm going to be at. So I don't hold that against one. I am kind of hoping that next year, probably on Everfree, to host or co-host a writing panel or two. So we'll see. I'll just have to be a little more open with or maybe even reach out to the organizers as far as my availability. Part of the issue with me hosting somethings is I have my daughter, as I mentioned at the beginning, and I like to go to these cons with her because she tends to have a good time. So she's been a little young. I mean, I have some people in mind that I might ask to watch her while I host, or I don't know, people could just like enjoy the whimsy of me answering questions while there's a 7-year-old sitting in the seat next to me, or off to the side playing Minecraft on a tablet or something. But yeah, have not hosted anything yet. Hopefully next year. Probably not this year. Doesn't look like there's many cons in my future this year, but again, there's still going to be plenty of cons. My love for ponies is still going strong, and the fandom itself is still going strong. So we shall
Okay.
see.
And I don't think that I'm gonna tackle any like cons in like the next few years because money issues, shit like that. But I'm also like I'm far from any cons that are like popular.
That is a problem. I do have the benefit of at least being a few hours away from Everfree, which is really the only close con to me. But that I've been to that twice, and hopefully we'll go more times in the future.
I am pretty sure. I'm not certain on this, but I'm pretty sure there are cons in California.
I know that I mean, that's a bit of a drive compared to, so Everfree is about a 3-hour drive from me if I want to attend that. The next closest to me would probably be BabsCon, which is then a like 8 or 9 hour drive, or of course, at that point, consider a plane. And then everything else, I believe, is far further south, in the kind of the SoCal, either San Diego or Los Angeles area. So,
See, I don't know. I don't know how far Los Angeles is away from me, but I know how far Anaheim is.
hmm well, that would be about right then.
Anaheim, or however you say it, is like 7 hours away from me.
Okay. I mean, that's probably. I'd imagine there's a few cons in that area. I haven't really checked. I mean, the biggest ones that I'm aware of course, are Everfree, BronyCon, of course, which is on the other side of the country from me, and then BabsCon. But I know that there's plenty other, at least in America, smaller ones.
Yeah, why I'm adding my opinion is to drag out questions that I might have not covered that you can answer, and to drag out duration time.
Are you trying to hit the magic hour mark, sir?
I usually hit up to 30, maybe an hour.
Okay. Well, we're already past the 30, so bonus lightning round, I suppose.
Yes, we were at 40 minutes for this call, but currently I am at 38 minutes for my recording.
Gotcha.
Okay, and continuing on, um, what fun events have you done at the uh, cons? And another thing, what's your mode of transportation?
I drive pretty much everywhere as far as conventions and stuff are concerned. I mean, might make a big deal someday of going across the country and checking out BronyCon, but I believe a airplane will be involved at that because that is quite the drive. Having driven pretty much almost the entire length of I-5 without pretty much any sleep, I could tell you that 17, 18 hours car trips, not super fun. So probably not going to be attempting that, a much longer one. But as far as it, I mean, I've attended a few panels. I actually really like going to the cons for the merch booths and stuff, because there's a lot of cool pony stuff that you don't just generally see. So it's a great opportunity for me. I'm kind of actually sitting down to four nice prints, the three Dazzlings and one Sunset Shimmer print from Drunk on Tea, or I'm Drunk on Tea. So that's pretty cool. I've got another one of his pieces up here, and then I've got some other cool things like a shoot. She was actually my icon for a while. I'm trying to remember the pony's name. Berry Punch. I have a Berry Punch bottle opener that I got from one. That very happy about that. And my daughter has a Flufflepuff. She has a Flufflepuff plushie she got from her first con, and the last con we went to, she got two of the mascots. She from mascot plushies, so she generally gets some cool stuff as well, and then buttons and what have you. But I've gone to a few panels. I was fortunate enough to go to Everfree when M.A. Larson and a lot of the other writers were attending, and I got to see a panel with those guys, and that was a lot of fun. M.A. Larson does not disappoint as far as his sardonic sense of humor. He is just as sarcastic in real life as he is on his Twitter, and that was great. This year I caught one with a lot of the female voice actors and some of the male voice actors, but and that was great fun. They've got a lot of energy. And they're happy to talk about ponies and talk about their other stuff that they've worked on. And I also did one with some of the current show creators, Big Jim and storyboard artists and stuff. And so I try to catch that. As I mentioned, because I have my daughter, I have to be careful about how many of these I go to before she gets wickedly bored. So I spend also a fair amount of time in the kind of the Foals area where she could do arts and craft, or the first year we went, I think we hijacked some of the video game consoles for a little bit and keep her entertained. But it's great meeting people. I love people, just seeing people in costume as well. And as I said, I had a blast last year talking to a bunch of my writer buddies that I knew from Discord, and now that I've met in person. So like I said, I do have a good time at the conventions, and my daughter does too. So we're looking forward to doing more.
See, I've never gone to any brony conventions, but I scripted my first anime convention this year, and it makes me very happy. It wasn't that big, but it was still good enough to bring some very familiar and popular cartoon and anime faces. See, the last day of the convention, there was 4 to 5 people that were at this booth that were just signing these signatures, or like something like that they would signature like an item or something that the person had. And I am very proud of this, because sitting right behind me is a full authentic bleach sword, and the sword is a replica of Captain Tozen's ice dragon sword.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of what it was called. I'm a big
That's
Bleach fan.
that's okay. Yeah, especially I used to watch Bleach quite a bit, but I didn't even it's been a few years since I watched it, and I haven't even finished it yet. Shame on me.
I finished it. And what I have on the sheath is I have the signatures from Sandy Fox, and I forgot the other person's name, because I kind of forgot what she did. She kind of really didn't matter to me. I know she was famous, but I forgot what she did. But I, to this day, am very proud of the other person who signatured on that sword because it makes me very happy. And um, I'm I'm shocked she is still alive. She
Uh
looks
huh.
great in her older years. Guess who signatured that sword?
So it's one of the VAs, I take it, of the.
It was a voice
I
actor, yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to guess it. As like I don't, unless it's yeah. I'm not familiar with all the voice actors of Bleach, so
Wasn't a
I'm.
Bleach voice actor. She's done several different cartoon and
Oh, did you
anime.
actually get like Tara Strong or something? Because that would be my guess.
No, I got the voice actor for Betty Boop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, as I say, Tara's not that old actually, so that makes sense.
Betty Boop. Oh my god, that's gonna live with me because Betty, the voice actor for Betty Boop, the original voice actor, is getting up there in years,
I'm sure she is.
and I'm very glad that I got that signature before she, because we know she's going to. But another thing, you would say you would take a plane.
I have taken planes, many planes all over the place. I mean, the longest I have taken, I've been to Europe twice via plane because your options are limited, and because with the oceans involved. And I have also been to Japan. So, yeah, you know, and I've flown all over the U.S. here and there, not for a convention or any cool reasons. Usually, either business related or family related.
See,
So yes.
I know at some point I'm probably gonna have to take a plane to go overseas, but I'm I'm fucking scared of heights.
Well, I don't know. Some people, I think it's totally different when they're in a plane, but unfortunately, as one who has never had any trouble flying or with heights, I can't. I'm afraid I don't have any great advice there.
Honestly, the only in this might be stupid, but the only voided travel that I would rather take if it's anywhere in the US, I would rather take a train.
Well, I mean, they're longer, but that's an option. We still have trains that go all over the place, so yeah, something to look into.
Yeah, they're a lot longer, which probably means in the future, if I become big or anything, and if I'm requested to go to a con or just like be invited once by friends, I really hope I am because I have connections to like quite a few people. Paul Peoples, Looney the Turtle, quite a few people that I'm hoping someday, if the fandom doesn't die out, that I can get the chance to go to one of these cons.
Well, good luck to you.
Yeah. Sad fact is I live in one of the most boring states, Arizona.
I No, I don't have anything there. I mean, that's kind of their thing, is not having much but desert. But Death Valley's there, right? Like,
No.
oh, okay. Well, you got nothing. I'm sorry. Move.
We have the Grand Canyon
Oh, there you go.
and the
I
Salt
don't.
River Canyon and the White Mountains and Mount Lemmon.
It sounds like a great place if you like national monuments.
It's a great place if you like the cold up north, because up north in the White Mountains, there's a city that is the windiest city in the U.S. But enough flexing and bragging. I think we've talked for long enough. Um,
Great.
anything else you want to add at all?
Not at all. I mean, not sure what you're linking, but everyone listening, obviously, this is Justice3442 off Film Fiction. So, and I do have a Patreon if anyone wants to get early access to stories I'm working on. Bug me about stories that I'm working on that I maybe haven't updated in a while, or even if I also do monthly blogs for people who give me enough about the topic of their choice with certain guidelines. So those are always fun for me, and I haven't heard any complaints from the people who are still paying me to do that. So that would be it.
Okay, so nothing else to add?
Nope, that's good.
Okay, you're about to hear my cringy intro. Well, I really hope you guys liked that video. Join me for the next one, and remember, join Nation, pre-order Nation. Bye-bye.